especially in the fall arrangements. I didn't even know we carried these, but very oftentimes if I'm going to do some fall pieces, I'll have to buy a bag of lotus pods, a bag of sponge mushrooms, a bag of bell cups, a bag of pomegranates. What we carry now, this pod assortment from Knut Nielsen, and it's already been varnished. It's a very nice shiny finish, and it's got 2 of 5 different items in the bag. So it's got 10 stems in the bag, so enough to do 2 or 3 arrangements and have a nice variety for both arrangements, rather than have to buy 6 different items at $8 or $10 a piece. You can buy just one and do 3 or 4 arrangements. And just keeps bringing them out here. We found this line, a couple of things about it. I think it's a great piece because obviously it's a very natural container. The other nice thing, it's made here in Michigan. A family not too far from here came to us. They pulled up in their old van and the trailer, and they had all these different wood pieces. You'll see a wonderful assortment of them as you come into the store just to the left of the front door. When Tim and I saw them, I think we both thought the same thing for sympathy work. I think they're really wonderful to have a keepsake, somebody who loved the outdoors or loved the garden. The container at the bottom is a nice square pot, so you could take a 6-inch mum and drop it in there, or a nice azalea or a coat plant, something like that, and then the family would have something to keep afterwards. Or what about for a housewarming gift for a new couple moving into a home? You could send them something like this, and they would have the container to keep afterwards. Maybe took this one, added some of those bronze Fujis that I talked about a little bit ago, and some novelty fall pops, and then this is a dried artichoke and bird leaves, or it'll say Strelitzia foliage, that's a proper name, but they're actually bird of paradise foliage that's been dried, and he's added a couple of those as well, and a few for height accented up here too. Didn't you do a nice job? It's really special. You're going to see one too in a minute. I drive the video guy crazy. I felt like crazy. And he's got to try to keep up with me. But anyway, and a little bit later on, we're going to have one done up for the holidays as well. I think you did a great job on that one too. I wanted to take a minute and show you something else that I have for the holiday, just something a little bit different. And that is this base skirt. Isn't that fun? We just take the inexpensive $9.99 base, then take this base skirt. We have it in 2 colors. We have it the green and the beige. You could drop it on there and just add that. You know, we've been doing it with wine bottles for a long time, right? Every holiday you can go out and buy a wine, a little cozy to put a wine bottle in to give somebody for Christmas. But I've never seen anything like this for a vase. And one of our vendors came to see us. My knife in the flush. And he had these, and Tim and I both at the same time said, that's great. I mean, really, it differentiates yourself. You could also use them. His first idea was to use them for a bouquet cozy, right? Make up a bridal bouquet, put this over the handle, then gather it around there, and you have a nice burlap gathering around the bouquet. And then you have the pull ties, which would be a natural before falling down, like ribbon. But when we looked at it, we said, no way, that fits perfect on a vase. And that really made your arrangements look a little bit different than the next guys, right? So I wanted to make sure and show that today. We didn't get to show that yesterday. And just add a hydrangea. People always ask me, I say, well, what's the appeal? Why are hydrangeas so wanted? And of course there's the look. And so brides always want it. Your average customer loves hydrangeas, so they want it. But I think a lot of retailers are jumping on the hydrangea bandwagon. Because look how quick and easy it is to make an arrangement when you take one hydrangea, drop it in, and then just put a few stems of flowers in. That's all you have to do. You're all done. It's ready to go. So make sure it didn't go through. Sometimes I miss the vase there. instead of stem of pom-poms. I even had one of my growers call me. They sell us the foliages, and says, Tom, your sales are down a little bit with us this year. Is everything okay? And I said, yeah, everything's great. I said, but if you call the hydrangea guy, you see my hydrangea sales are way up. And so unfortunately, I think what we're seeing is people using the hydrangea instead of foliages. Just something real quick and easy though. So you take a simple, inexpensive vase. This vase we're selling on special right now for 99 cents for Sweetest Day. And you don't have to worry about the colored glass or anything like that. You can just give it a quick cover with this burlap skirt. Or again, don't forget, the original intent was to use it for a bouquet. Put a bouquet in. Okay. David took one of the low trays, the plastic trays. I don't know if you can see that or not. That 1 inch, it's got a 1 inch lip to it, just about 11 inches around from Syndicate Sales. One thing that used to be, I don't know what to say, maybe a design no-no was to mix your colors of roses. But now it seems like it's very accepted. I think it works really well. David's actually used some red roses with the Leonidas, with a touch of the voodoos, and then some peach-colored spring roses as well. Do a beautiful centerpiece for the fall. And this pomegranate container, the candle, the square candle, just something a little bit different. Like we see the round tapers or the round pillar candles all the time, but we don't always see the 2-inch square. So if you're going to use candles, I suggest you go ahead and invest in a square one to give yourself a little different look. David took those small plastic igloos, or the frogs from Smithers Oasis. They look like the little white disc in your pizza box. It keeps the box from falling on the pizza. And he glued that to the bottom of the candle so that it would stick in. Does everybody understand what I'm saying there? It looks like a little tiny table with 4 legs, and then he just sticks that on. So it's very secure. Okay? What's that? Okay. You tell 2 different designers, you take a small, low, round basket and see what you come up with, and one of them gives you something like this, and the other one brings you something like this. So 2 totally different takes on the same basic premise. I want something in a low, round container, correct? David did an excellent job here. You know, you can never go wrong with mini Gerbils, right? And the orange ones with the black eyes are a lot of fun. I think for Halloween, that'd be a real fun thing to put in a bud vase and have fun with. Little Cyclops pumpkins, you could call them, or something like that. We also carry this bag of gourds, nice little gourd assortment that David's put in the front of that, and that's great piece. I love it. And then on this one here, I call this my cooler cleaner. I took that round basket, covered it with some green sheet moss, and then just took a lot of onesie-twosie flowers and stuck them in nice and low. I've got some lotus ponds, again that burlap ribbon, which is very popular, and then some pheasant feathers to give it a little bit more size, right? I think size does help when selling containers. David has used the birch branches to go high, and I've used the pheasant feathers to extend right to left. Okay, just a couple of quick design ideas. I had to laugh yesterday because I saw that David used the artificial autumn leaves rather than the fresh. You know, we sell the oak leaves and we sell a lot of them every year, the treated and preserved ones, but they're never perfect, right? There's always flaws, and you're trying to find just that right one. Well, David said, the heck with that noise, I'm just going to use some silk ones. They're all perfect, they have a great shading. Then he took a little bit of the raffia and added that to it. And raffia, I think it's been around since about 1982, and using it in designs, we were tying things back then. And he's just added a little bit of that, some of the bearded wheat, and then these are the orange lilies I mentioned earlier versus those blackouts. Quite a difference, right? Both very fall and a really great color, but a little bit different. And a nice natural rusted tin container. Two things, actually 3 I wanted to mention in this arrangement here. David did a beautiful oblong centerpiece using these new, they are, I don't want to say flocked branches from Nielsen. We have them in a chocolate brown, we have them in black, we have them in white. Might not be able to tell from where you're seated, but a little bit closer, it really gives a real different look. It's almost like a peach fuzz on the branch itself. So it gives a little different texture. David's added this beautiful vine, and it's an artificial vine rather than trying to mess with grapevine that's stiff and will shed or break. David's used this artificial vine to create a little bit of interest throughout the arrangement. And then lastly, he used artificial feathers rather than fresh pheasant feathers, something a little bit different as well. Something maybe you could keep afterwards or reuse. A few pots in the middle, a few milk pots in the middle. And then some yarrow, some of that peach hypericum, which is very popular right now. And those Leonidas roses, very, very popular. Be careful on your natural roses as you're ordering them for events right now. The colors like Leonidas, Sahara, Quicksand, these are all fall muted colors and browns and beiges. They're very hard to come by. So if you need them, you need to give us plenty of notice to get them in. 10 days, 2 weeks is that's not too early. The sooner we know, the sooner we can jump on it and buy them. A couple of Christmas pieces I wanted to do with the wintergreens. Here's one, and I've just started. I've added the ribbon already. I wanted to do the ribbon together. I'm sure many of you have taken number 9 ribbon and used 2 or 3 different types of ribbon at the same time. One of the comments I've gotten on the burlap ribbon is, well, that's kind of stiff or hard to work with. Well, it's not really. I was able to use 2 number 9 ribbons together to make this bow at the same time. It was very easy to work with. And I thought it'd give it it kept that very natural theme to the drop that I worked with. I'm just going to take a few things. As I have a glue gun, when you're using a glue gun and you're going to put it on your stem, you always go like this, right? Well, if you miss, of course you're going to hit the most vulnerable spot on your body, other than maybe the palms of your feet, but the palms of your hands. So always use a glue pen, not a glue gun. This drop, the winter drop that I'm making up here, it came with all these pine cones on it. And the different varieties, it has the natural pine, it has a little bit of the cedar, and then it has the gold tip cedar and the pine cones. That was all one unit. All I've added are the 3 groupings of berries and the ribbon, and it's pretty much finished, right? You don't have to do much else. Make up 2 or 3 of those and set them up, they're all set up. It's a really pretty easy piece. The other thing I'd like you to think about is, instead of using it on the wall, you could also use it as a table piece. Let's move a nicer vase next to it, and the cranberry and the green, and you have a nice table setting as well. So whether you're using it upright on the wall or laying down on the table, you have a chance to make it work both ways. I think it's, today it's 20% off, so I think it brings the cost down to around $17.50. I knew I forgot, so I wanted to add a few pots to it as well, just to keep it on that natural theme, but just a little bit more natural pots. But the nice thing is, if you're in a hurry and you want to decorate very quickly, you could get that drop, just add a little bit of ribbon, and it could be done. Don't have to